Two moms take a dream vacation, kids-free, to the Bahamas on a Carnival cruise. They say a day excursion to a local resort led them to being drugged and raped. The cruise line, the resort, there's been pushback. Online, people suck, but there have been comments suggesting that the women were making the story up. Again, not that those people know anything. But you know who does know? Someone who was there. LaDonna Batty, a nurse practitioner who was on the same Carnival cruise ship to the Bahamas. She took the same excursion to Pirates Cove as the Kentucky moms and saw with her own eyes how they looked after what they said happened. LaDonna Batty joins us now, along with the lawyer for these two women, Nicholas Gerson. He has an advance as well. LaDonna, thank you very much for getting involved in this and taking this opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what is the chance that what you witnessed can be explained as this being made up and the women are fine?
Oh, there's no chance. I've seen it. There's no chance that anything was made up. You can't make up puking everywhere and shaking all over and trembling and being scared to death. You can't make that up. Not a scene like that. That's not something you can just make up.
And the darker allegation is not just that somebody put something in their drinks and that's why they got sick, but that they were assaulted.
Oh, absolutely. Both of them had bruises from about kneecap down on their thighs. I mean, that's not things that you just have for no reason.
And these are things that you have seen before, and there wouldn't be another explanation that would make sense?
Not to me, not in the situation that I walked in on. There's nothing else that would make sense to me. I mean, I guess I can understand some people being skeptical because they didn't see it or witness it. I get that. I understand that. But not what I've seen with my eyes. Would you convince me no different that these girls wasn't harmed?
And in what you could pick up from their tone and the consistency of what they were saying, you know, when they were telling the story, people in a traumatic state like that tend to repeat themselves. What was your takeaway from how credible the story sounded?
Very credible. Don Gala, I didn't speak to her as much. She was in way worse shape, and she was kind of in the floor, and Amber was straight across from her in the floor too. And like I said, I spoke more to Amber because I was trying to get her to focus in. I was trying to get as much details as I could get from her because I knew she wasn't going to be able to remember a whole lot. She was in such a bad state, and she kept repeating herself. I'd ask her one question, she'd repeat another question to me. It was bad. I'm traumatized from it, and I deal with things like this. So yeah, it was real bad for both of the girls.
Hey, thank God you were there. So there's somebody who's actually a clinician who was able to process the situation, because as you know, there's a little bit too much of a range of understanding of what this was. So LaDonna, thank you very much. Is there anything else that people need to know that you witnessed?
Well, just that I wish people would quit making the nasty comments on there, because a lot of the comments they're making, they don't even have it correct. And that thing that hurts me the most is it's mostly women that are making these horrible comments towards them. And I just can't imagine anybody saying something like that without not having the full details. And it took everything I had not to get on there and comment, but I just didn't want to start an argument with anybody. I witnessed with my own eyes how these girls looked. They were completely traumatized. And it was very, very apparent to me that they had ingested something that altered their mental state and everything completely. So, I mean, my heart just goes out to them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for what you did for those two and for us. Appreciate you. Counsel, what is the latest?
The latest, Chris, and good evening. Thanks for having me again. We actually received correspondence from Carnival's lawyers in response to a request for preservation of evidence, where we asked for the results of the rape kit. We've asked for copies of the statements. We've asked for essentially whatever investigative materials they possess. And what we received back from Carnival's lawyers is that the Bahamian Police Department are actually boarding the ship tomorrow, and that some of the evidence that we've requested is actually going to be handed over to the Royal Bahamas Police Department. And beyond that, we don't really know what that means.
These are, look, I mean, this is your area of expertise, but there are always so many different chefs in the kitchen when it comes on these investigations. The concern is keeping it straight. My job is to give you a platform, to give us the latest and to ask the questions of the people in power. We're still trying to get to the cruise line, and we will continue to do so. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.